I've got some awesome smart shade automation ideas that will not only improve your life, but also save you money. Maybe even enough money that the shades will pay for themselves. Okay, that's maybe a bit of a stretch, but if you're looking to justify the cost of smart shades, and they're not cheap, I've got you covered. In previous videos, I've shown you roller shades from Smartwings, which I really like, adjustable roller shades from Switchbot, which I really didn't like, and today I'm going to be using both of those shades, plus my new shades from Canisteo that I like exactly as much as I like Smartwings shades. Because it turns out Smartwings and Canisteo shades are exactly the same, just with different names. The fabric, the cassettes, the remotes, all the same. In fact, the quick start guide for the Canisteo shades actually references them as Smartwings shades here on page 3. Look, I even programmed my Smartwings remote to control the Canisteo shades. I'm not saying Canisteo hijacked a Smartwings truck and resold their shades under a new name.
What's a truck?
But in this timeline, nothing surprises me. Is this whole thing a little bit weird? Yes, but it does mean that they work great and they're super easy to install with these little clippy brackets, just like my Smartwings shades. The whole thing takes less than 5 minutes to install. It's shockingly easy, especially compared to the Switchbot adjustable shades that had me reconsidering all my life choices. If you go check out the Canisteo and Smartwings websites, you'll see that almost all of their offerings are exactly the same. Smartwings tends to have a few more options for each type of shade that they offer, and they do have some more advanced options that Canisteo doesn't have, such as the hardwired shades and this pergola that looks pretty neat. But for whatever reason, Smartwings pricing is a little bit higher than Canisteo when you price out the exact same shade. And both brands are definitely more affordable than what you'll find from, say, Lutron or Hunter Douglas. But there is one type of shade that Canisteo has that Smartwings does not, and that's why I decided to order these sheer shades for my living room. They're pretty clever how they work. They're kind of like a Venetian blind without all the strings for your cat to eat. The sheer shades can provide total privacy, but when the shade is lowered all the way down, it actually tilts the shade to expose the sheer fabric. This blocks some of the light and gives you some privacy, but it gives you enough light to brighten the room, and you can still kind of see out of the window well enough to see when the insect service reps are roaming the neighborhood, so you can pretend you're not home. I think these sheer shades look really nice, and the available solar panels means I don't have to worry about charging them. I also got these with the Matter motor, so they connect directly to my Homey Pro hub, and I'll show you some of those automations I've created for them with the Homey Pro in a minute. But I do want to point out one thing about these sheer shades for those considering purchasing them. Be very precise when you measure the vertical height of your window before you order. When I measured my window, I didn't take into account the stupid cranks at the bottom, so the shade rests on those cranks when it goes all the way down instead of making it all the way to the sill. Now, like the roller shades, you can adjust where the shade bottoms out with these sheer shades, but if you do that, the sheer shades won't do the little tilt thing, which is kind of the whole point of these shades. Now, I may have to get some folding cranks or something at some point, but for now, this is how it's gonna be, so measure carefully. So how are these shades gonna save you money? With some creative automations and some creative accounting. For starters, the sun is our enemy. We all know this. And if you have south-facing windows, you need to block that burning beast if you don't want to be cooked. In the heat of the summer, I use a Hue outdoor sensor with illuminance, and I sync it to our Ecobee thermostat. That way our south-facing shades will automatically go down when the sun is up and the AC is on. It's easy and slick and saves money on our air conditioning. And clearly I need to invest in a smart shade for the sliding door at some point too. The Department of Energy says you can get up to 10% savings with thermal shades. Now these aren't the thermal shades they're talking about, but they're still gonna help. We'll give ourselves a 1% annual savings for about $21 a year. The UV rays from the sun can also destroy furniture and artwork, as you can see from Exhibit A and B in my house. That's from before we got the shades. If using shades can double the useful life of our furniture, that's some serious savings right there. Add that to the list. Conversely, we want some natural light coming in the house when possible, so we're not wasting energy on light bulbs. Now that's where these sheer shades really come in handy. At night, they're automated to shut themselves into privacy mode, but in the morning, they flip to sheer mode to allow most of the light to come in. But if it's an overcast day, we use the illuminance sensor in the room to automate the shade to go up all the way to let as much of the daylight in as possible. But if the sun shines again later in the day, down it goes. Now this should prevent us from having to turn on any lights during the day, and that saves us almost an entire $1 each year. Of course, during the winter season, you might actually want south-facing windows to stay open to let that sun help heat the house. However, this poses a problem when you want to watch TV. Now at certain times of the day, it can make the TV basically unwatchable, either because it's reflecting off the screen or it's beating in our eyes. But again, we fight that with a TV mode automation. Using an illuminance sensor, again, when the TV turns on, if the sun is too bright, the shades will go down just enough to block the sun. But how does this save us money? Well, we pay a lot in Netflix and streaming subscriptions that are basically unusable 25% of the day because of the sun. But now, with these shades, we can watch whatever we want, anytime we want, in comfort. That gives us basically 25% more value from our Netflix subscription, and we're gonna put that on the big board as a savings directly to us. All of these smart shades come with remotes, but they are bulky and can get lost in couches and other things. So that's why these little flick buttons are perfect to just stick right on the wall, so you always have an easy way to open and close the shades. They can go pretty much anywhere, so I even stuck one right here underneath the kitchen table. During certain times of the year, the sun in this seat right here where my son sits can be absolutely blinding. But all he has to do is reach down under the table, press this flick button, and all of his troubles go away. And when you think about how damaging the sun can be to our eyes, without these shades, that is a cataract waiting to happen. Now, cataract surgeries can cost $3,000 per eye, so amortize that over 18 years my son will live here. That shade alone is saving us $332 per year. And while we're talking about kids, this next automation is essential if you have one. Obviously, no kid wants to get up and go to school, and they will fight it as much as they can. Can't blame them, I did the same thing. But alarms are too easy to snooze, which is why we need to harness nature's alarm clock, our frenemy, the sun, to get them out of bed. I have shades in the kids' bedrooms automated to open in the morning in time for them to catch the bus. Because I'm a nice guy, I only have it automated Monday through Friday, and I actually loaded all of the school's days off into the automation so it won't wake them up in the summer or in any of the random days when they don't have school. Why do they have so many days off? Go to school, kids, learn something. Now, kids are wily, so they may just use the remote to close the shades after they open. Well, never fear, because the automation I created will keep opening the shades every minute from wake up time until the bus arrives. So thanks to this automation, I never have to drive them to school after they miss the bus.
Dad, I hate you!
If this helps me avoid driving my kids to school 3 days a week, at 70 cents a mile, that's almost $800 per year right back in my pocket. Now, if I have money in my pockets, I don't want thieves coming in and taking it or any other valuable items in my house. Shades do a great job of hiding what's in your home from any bad guys snooping around. Of course, I'm not gonna run around shutting all the shades every time I leave home, but using presence detection feature in the Homey Pro, I don't have to do that. I just created an automation that whenever all of the people have left the house, all the shades automatically shut until someone returns. The shades also shut every night after sunrise to avoid prying eyes or anyone snooping in while we're asleep. Now, this automation is worth at least the cost of a home security system, so let's put that up on the big board. Add it all up, and I'm saving almost $2,000 a year with my smart shades. And even if my math is a little bit off, there's no denying that these Canisteo shades are pretty great. I really highly recommend them. And for the record, I was joking when I said that Canisteo stole a truckload of Smartwings shades. It would be absurd to believe that, or to write a song about it.
Out in the desert neath the moonlit glow, rode a rig from Cali moving nice and slow. Packed to the brim with motorized gold, Smartwings shades worth a fortune untold. But up in the hills with their boots and their pride, Canisteo gang watch with fire in their eyes. They hatched a plan to steal that truck, relabel the shades, and make a quick buck. They hijacked the trailer near I-95. The driver fled just to stay alive. They snatched the loot in a midnight haze with stickers that read Canisteo shades. Canisteo, quality shades at a discount price. Canisteo, so many styles that all look nice. No one suspected a thing was amiss. The box said smart, who could resist? Same motor, same app, same remote in hand. The only thing different was the name of the brand, Canisteo. So that's the tale of the Canisteo gang, and why your smart shades bear their name. Is this tale true? Definitely not. But one fact we know, they're better than SwitchBot. Canisteo.